Uncontrollable Chapter 5. After possibly the best sleep of my life, it was now Monday morning. It was easy waking up today. The sun seemed to shine brightly, and the air just felt a little more welcoming. Star was already out of bed, downstairs, helping Mom cook. The house smelt of bacon, flour, and hints of chocolate. I rolled my eyes, sitting up, stretching, knowing they were making meals for the day so they wouldn't have to cook too much later. I got dressed, much like yesterday, and take a moment to relax. Calm down from the few days of chaos and just chill. Today was going to be a good day. It's the day we planned our party. Despite our birthday being tomorrow, it was on a school day, so we all wanted to celebrate early. I wondered if I should wear something maybe a bit fancier for the occasion. Just as I'm walking to the living room, I hear a knock on the door. I chuckle at the timing as I turn to the others in the kitchen. They're allowed in, right, Mom? She nods and Star smiles at me, glancing down at her flour-covered hands. Yeah, I'll get it, don't worry, Star. Just as the door unlatches, as I turn the handle, I feel a soft push on the door as Maddie pushes to get inside. No, I want to show them their presents first! I hear Sierra yell before Maddie was pulled away from the door. Stop pushing or I'm not opening the door, I say, blocking the small opening there was. I saw everyone but Cassie holding 2 gift boxes. As they stand more patiently, I let them in slowly. Wait till Star's done cooking with Mom for the presents. I'll grab some of the cookies from yesterday to munch on. My present's gonna be the best, Sierra whispered to me, passing by as she went and sat on the couch, putting her bag behind the couch so it was out of the way. I saw Ava rolling her eyes as she set hers down beside Sierra's. One by one they did the same, and as I went to grab the cookies, I saw Mom in the kitchen smiling wide at Star, who was just going over yesterday. She smiles over her shoulder at me with a proud look. Are you already driving you crazy that you came to hide in here? Star joked as she was washing her hands. No, only you can do that. I was grabbing the cookies like a good guest would. I stick my tongue out at her as I go to the pantry. Oh, girls, I have to get ready. Star, do you think you could put everything in the slow cooker before you go? Star nods as her mom quickly wipes her hands on her apron and runs off to her room to get ready for work. Star glances at everything, taking a mental note of what to do before leaving. Then we walk out to the living room. Everyone was smiling, and as I set the tray of cookies down on the coffee table, almost half of them were gone instantly. Okay, Star says, smiling and putting her hands together, and failing miserably to hide her excitement. Who wants to go first? Maddie and Sierra glared at each other after saying I do at the same time. Well, my gift has to wait, so I think to avoid their chaos, Ava should go first, Cassie said, smiling at Ava. Ava sat up a bit straighter, surprised. Yeah, I guess I can. It's not much, but I think it'll help. I wasn't sure what she meant by that, and as she walked over to the side of the couch and grabbed 2 small boxes, one black and one white. I didn't want to get them mixed up, so I didn't get matching colors. I hope that's okay. She handed Star and I the boxes. I got the black box, and I glanced at Star, who opened it up quickly. Ava didn't even have a chance to sit down before Star squealed and held up a shimmering lapis lazuli crystal cut in the form of a diamond shape, dangling from a soft string necklace. I sigh, a soft breath out, admiring her happiness, wishing nothing could bring her down from it. I opened mine, looking at the dark amethyst crystal that seemed to light up my eyes slightly. The smooth texture of its tower shape also hung from the same type of string. It made my body feel a little bit lighter. Was this what getting a gift you liked was like? I usually got a not-so-thought-out gift from previous long-gone friends since they focused on Star. I didn't mind. This was nice. I put it on and smiled at Ava, who seemed to have a hint of triumph in her smile. Now mine! Sierra jumped up. Oh, come on! Maddie said, annoyed. A soft smile on her face as she glared at Sierra. She ran to grab her gifts for us. Sierra grabbed 2 wrapped, square-shaped objects with some bows on them. I saw these at the store and thought of you guys. Sorry it's not much. I don't usually get invited to parties. I usually host them. I laugh and unwrap mine a little faster than Star, excited to see what it may be. It was a purple sweater, much like mine, but in way better condition, and with a soft, darker purple lining on the inside. I see Star smiling at hers, which was just like mine, but a bright blue. It was then that I noticed that we usually wore the same colors almost every day. She wore blue t-shirts, hair ties, socks, you name it. Well, I usually wore the same purple sweater and mix-matched purple socks that were striped or spotted. I chuckle as she pulls hers over her head. Don't you think it's a bit hot for a sweater today? I say, smiling at her as her hair sticks out randomly. Look who's talking. She looks at my sweater, laughing. I forgot I even put mine on today. Fair point. Okay, hush, it's my turn, Maddie said, eagerly, running to grab her gifts. Star, here's yours. I notice you always have an extra hair tie on your wrist that you play with. Thought this might be better. And Emma, I really like your art, and I want you to draw more of it. She hands both Star and me a box, and almost equal sizes. I open mine to see a fancy drawing kit filled with watercolor paints, shaded pencils, and pencil crayons. I smile up at her, excited to have a reason to draw more, and loving the compliment to my art a bit too much. Star smiled wide at a bracelet kit. I thought you could make us all friendship bracelets, too. If you want to, that is. I tried before I saw this. It didn't go too well. She rubs the back of her neck with a laugh. Thank you so much, Star said, rubbing some small tears that formed in her eyes away. This is a great birthday. Hold on, there's one more, Cassie said, smiling and grabbing out a decently sized bag from beside the couch. Okay, everyone, she said, setting something up out of our view as she pushed the others and Star behind her. What's going on? What are you doing? I say, confused, before I hear a small beep and see Cassie running over to us. Before I knew it, a set of group pictures were taken. One a bit too early of Cassie running over to join the group, one perfectly timed, and one where I might have fallen over after being spooked by the flash of light, bringing down Sierra and Star with me as I fell. We all sat there laughing for a moment and dusting ourselves off before Cassie went up and collected her camera. Well, I guess you'll have to wait till tomorrow for the real gift, she said, putting it away. Oh, that's amazing, Star said, hugging her. I think you were right, I mumbled, smiling wide and looking down. It will be the best gift. We settled down and talked for a while, eating cookies. Mom left after the presents. Star had gotten up to put things away in case we decided to leave the house and hang out at the park. I sat amongst our friends, smiling softly and playing with my new necklace. The room got quiet for a moment as laughter died down. And then Ava solemnly spoke. Don't demons kill? I felt a shiver run through my spine as we all looked at her. I felt fear creeping in. No, this isn't how today's supposed to go. My thoughts scream at me as I stare down at my hands and grip the cloth on my knees. My jeans were tight around them. God, she's going to make them all leave. I don't want to kill. I'm good. I glanced back up at her to see her eyes staring at me. I couldn't look away. I felt like I was being stared down by a wolf. I couldn't muster any of the thoughts swirling in my head. What, did you not hear me? I glance at Star as she walks back into the living room, confused like she misheard something. She met my eyes and knew she didn't. Is it true demons kill people? And if so, what's stopping you from killing us for more power? I took back tears, the feeling of betrayal filling my head, like I was just thrown on stage dressed as a clown. Ava, stop it. Even if she could, she wouldn't. Not even if her life depended on it. What's gotten into you? Cassie stood up, glaring at Ava. Yeah, and you saw her hesitance to even show her form to us. You really think she'd do something like that? Sierra stood up as well. Ava just sat there calmly, glancing between the two of them. Star moved over to me, walking behind the commotion to put her hand on my shoulder. Think of it. How hard does she have to control her demon at school? She has the urge to kill, it's obvious. Ava crossed her leg over the other, leaning back. This only made the others angrier, but I could feel their doubt as they glanced back at me. They could see it. Star whispered in my ear softly so the others wouldn't hear. Should we call off the party? I don't want this escalating. I quickly shake my head. I didn't want to ruin their fun. Silence falls amongst us. I felt my body shaking as Ava kept her eyes on me. My fingertips are painfully white as I absent-mindedly hold tighter onto my jeans. I choke on the words I tried to get out. Saying nothing only made me feel worse. I would risk my life to protect all of you, even if it meant losing my life to do so. I felt anger bubbling up at the surface as Ava raised an eyebrow at me. I don't have urges to kill. I have urges to protect, and if I wanted to kill anyone, I would have, but I don't, I say stubbornly. I bit my tongue, choosing my words carefully. I have spent years trying to control something I was never taught to protect you guys and Star from others and myself. So if you think I would ever kill any of you, you're wrong. I grit my teeth. Ava opened her mouth to speak, but Maddie stopped her, standing up and looking down at her. If you want to continue to interrogate her for who she is and who she's tried so hard to be, on her birthday nonetheless, then I think you should leave. I smile softly at them as my hands go to my sides, although quickly returning them to my knees to hide the burn marks on them. I hadn't even realized. Nah, I'm good. I was just curious after all, Ava said, smiling softly and standing up. Besides, weren't we going to go to the park for the rest of the day? Yeah. Star smiles and walks over the door, taking the attention off of me. I'll meet you guys outside in a minute. I try and match Star's smile as I turn away from the group to go change into some different pants. After a long day that eventually rid my mind of the stressful morning, Star and I were sitting back at home relaxing and eating some cake. Star was silent at the table, slowly munching on her piece of cake, and I hadn't touched mine. Once the silence filled the room, I couldn't stop thinking about why Ava said what she did. I went over it time and time again in my mind, thinking of reasons, convincing myself that what I said was the truth. I had never heard any of them. Right? She's getting on my nerves, Star mumbled with anger to her usually calm eyes. She won't let the idea go that you're bad. She grumbled as she stuffed another bite into her mouth. I just looked up at her, dumbfounded. Maybe she's stuck in old times like everyone else was with Dad, but come on! I didn't know what to say. I didn't know there was more than just today. Star looked up at me, her anger turning into a surprised confusion. She caught on before you told the group, and she won't let it go. She keeps telling me about how you're bad to be around after the fight with Jason and Devin. I think she knew after the incident because of your eyes. I looked down at my plate before standing up and forcing my thoughts away in one last attempt to reassure and convince myself. Well, I placed my hands on the table. I'm going to show her I'm good, just like Dad was. I felt my body shake, arguing with me. I'm going to be the nicest and most helpful person she's ever seen, and I'm going to teach her more than just that all demons aren't evil. Star smiled up at me. She seemed to relax as she sat back. Yeah, she breathed out. As I awoke the next morning, I had to question if I had gone deaf. The house was quiet, and the whole world seemed quiet. I felt fear grow as I still sat there, trying to listen for anything, the silence making me uneasy, but once I moved and heard the soft crinkle of my sheets around me, the noise flooding my ears, I took a calm breath in and sat up. My hands ran back and forth slowly against my blanket, a noise almost no one could hear, but on this quiet morning it seemed like it was the loudest thing. I would have chuckled at the thought of randomly losing my hearing overnight if I wasn't aware of Star sleeping peacefully on the other side of the room. I didn't want to wake her. I glanced over at the clock, the light showing the time that made my eyes hurt, but now I knew it was 5:47, just a bit before people started waking up. I yawn and stretch, my arms high above my head as my back popped. I forced away a groan as I feel my magic bubbling to the surface. My wings were eager to stretch out and rid my mind of any bad thoughts from the previous day. I pushed the covers off me, sitting over the side of my bed before my feet softly hit the floor. There was no thump, maybe a soft scratch against the wood floor, but only a mouse could hear it. I quietly walked through the open bedroom door, not really caring about my clothing, the overly long PJ pants dragging quietly behind me and the fluffy Christmas sweater-like PJ top ruffling with my movements. It was oddly peaceful how quiet it was today. I take a moment to at least brush out my hair, even if it returned to its fluffy, unkempt look. At least it was better than when I first got out of bed. I looked in the mirror and couldn't help but chuckle at the bag starting to show under my eyes, a look I wouldn't realize till later that I took for granted. I yawned and walked to the back door, slipping on my shoes and reaching for the door, flinching when I heard my mom in the kitchen, the other side of the wall. "Don't be out late. Be safe," she said softly. She had grown used to my habits, going out late at night or early in the morning, flying through the alleyways, keeping low not to be seen, and disappearing quickly before anyone could recognize my face. "Yeah, I will," I say softly, almost careful not to break the quiet atmosphere. I take a few steps outside. The morning dew of a soft rain last night dripped slowly off the house's roof. The light taps as it hit the ground below seemed loud compared to the rest of the world. It felt nice to breathe in. The air seemed so welcoming. I made my wings appear, and they seemed to glitter as the dewdrops hit them. I look up to see the orange sky, the soft hues of blue barely breaking through the vast colors of reds and yellows. I feel my wings eager but dragging behind me. They were still as tired as I was, so I decided to walk a bit, maybe a short jog to get myself warmed up and more awake. As I leave out the back gate and look down the alleyways to my sides, I feel a chill run up my spine. I was still nervous after the ambush with Star, but I convinced myself it was fine. She was safe at home after all. Nicely tucked into her bed, dreaming away about puppies or something cute like that. I laugh at my thoughts and close the gate behind me. I walk by the unlit houses, the pebbles of the alleyway roads, cluttering up the silence around me, but it was nice, almost grounding. I yawned and decided if I were to keep walking like this, I'd fall asleep doing so. So, I started to jog. I wanted to wake up after all. After a good few minutes pass, maybe 10, I stopped to stretch out my wings, smiling wide at the thought of flying. It reminded me of better times. Dad would take me out flying early in the mornings before he left for work. I let out a shaky breath, not letting the sadness get to me. They were just on the other side of a fence near me that led to the alleyway that I was in. I glance around, quickly trying to find some place to hide as the voices start to sound familiar. I press myself quickly against a fence as they pass, like a stupid movie where a spy hides against a wall. I thought I was going to be seen. I felt my heart in my throat as they walked around the corner. I could see them, but they seemed to be stuck in thought as they talked, both staring at the ground, talking quietly. I didn't dare make any movements or noise, but I listened to what they were saying. I wish I was listening longer and not panicking like an idiot. "So, tomorrow?" Jason asked, kicking a rock in front of him. "Yeah, I'm sure we'll get a chance to then. If we see an opportunity, we take it." Jason interrupted Devin with a smile on his face, catching up to the rock and kicking it harder. It flew a few feet away. "Yeah, no one gets away treating us like that," Devin grumbled before his hands came out of his pockets. They were tight fists at his sides. Their voices seemed to echo along the dewdrops. As they passed by another fence, I used this to try and muffle my wings as I spread them once again, flying quickly away from them through a gap between some houses, turning sideways to fit just enough. "What was that?" Jason said. His voice was louder. I could hear the gravel shift, and I could only assume he turned around. "Probably a bird, you dork. Now come on. No plan is a good plan without some planning." "That was stupid," Jason said, laughing. "Emily, you're back," Star said, greeting me at the door as I landed softly in the backyard, shaken up from what I've heard. My hands shaking at my sides, I looked down at the ground, trying to think of everything they could have meant. "Emma?" I glanced up at Star, meeting her eyes. They were soft and as grounding as the dewdrops were. I'd taken a breath and let it out, calming myself and smiling up at her. "Did you get any berries?" "Oh, that's what I was forgetting." I laughed at myself. One of the whole reasons I went out was to get some apples and raspberries for school today. "It's alright. Maybe tomorrow morning." "That's alright. I packed extra snacks to go to school today anyway." She smiles and opens the door for me as I walk inside. "Go get ready. I'll wait for you at the door." I head to our room to see my clothes folded on my bed nicely. My new purple sweater and a random t-shirt and some jeans. They look less wrinkly than the rest of my clothes, so I assumed Star had grabbed them out of the dryer for me. I get changed, unforming my wings before doing so. It felt so odd when Star did these random things for me. She did them a lot, so I'm not sure why I didn't feel used to them by now, but making breakfast when I don't have the energy to, putting out laundry for me, hell, even putting away laundry for me. I smile at the necklace on the desk and notice hers missing, so she's probably wearing it. I put mine on and sigh. How did I ever end up getting a sister like her? And she's amazing. So much like an angel. I have to wonder if she's adopted. I laugh at myself, shaking my head. No way, but it still makes me wonder how a demon like myself could have such an angelic sister. "Emma, come on, we're gonna be late if you don't hurry up," Star said softly from the hallway. I'm coming! I hopped as I put on a sock and tried to get to the door to save time, laughing as I opened it and ran towards the front door. Star passes me my backpack and I run out with her towards the school. As we get to school, everyone but Ava is waiting, smiling at the front doors. Star ran up to them faster than me. I took a moment just to enjoy the sight of our friends waiting for me. I snickered to myself. I never thought this would happen. Hey, you two! About time you finally made it. What happened? Emma sleep in again? Sierra came to me, ruffling up my already messy hair. No! And I don't sleep in! I pushed her away with a smile before crossing my arms. Yes, you do, Star said, rolling her eyes and looking over her shoulder at me. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side! I glare at her, returning her playful smile. So, Maddie says quietly, getting my attention as she meets my eyes. You have a lot more strength, right? I mean, I assume so, since you were able to carry all of us. I felt my muscles get tighter, freezing up at the sudden question. Does that mean... She was stalling. I don't think she saw how much it was tearing me up. Oh God, just spit it out. Don't keep me waiting here. I shake off my thoughts and smile at her. Yeah? You could carry my science books for me? She said shyly. I felt a laugh rise to my throat, my body laughing at itself how stupid it was to keep panicking over their questions. I snicker. Once it actually runs through my skull, I realize she had major science tests coming up, and the small pile of books I remember seeing in her locker. I may be extra strong, but don't start abusing it. I laugh, resting my arm softly on her shoulder. We all laugh, and as the others walk off, I pull her back softly. Yeah, but don't tell the others. I know those books are heavy for your small noodle science arms. I smile as she smiles up at me, her eyes lighting up softly. Thank you. School seemed to dumb down all the excitement so quickly. Although my friends did a good job keeping me distracted, I could hear people laughing at us and the rumors being whispered in classrooms. Even the world didn't seem to like the rest of the day. Heavy clouds rolled in and rain was pouring for hours. We started walking home together today. We took a different route. We stuck to the alleyways almost completely so I could relax and kind of soak in the rain, the lovely smell of it, and the cool breeze. Star was only stuck by my side since I made my wings appear to shield her from the rain. I didn't want her to catch a cold because I wanted to stroll. I'd wait till the night and go flying if the rain didn't hurt my wings when I flew through it. How you doing? Star asked softly. I hadn't realized how quiet it got, how I was staring at the ground as I walked, contemplating everything around me. I shake my head, clearing my mind as I smile at her. I'm okay. It felt honest, but something was weighing me down. This weird feeling that I was forgetting something, or lying to her. I knew the rumors were stuck in my head, and today wasn't fun, or exciting, except this morning with our friends. Maybe it was just that. You're really strong, Star said, smiling and turning her gaze to a rock on the ground. Her smile seemed so genuine, so proud. I snicker, nudging her shoulder. Yeah, that's why Maddie wanted me to carry all her books. She glared at me as rain hit the other shoulder before she returned under my wing. You know that's not what I meant. I sigh, a calm breath of air escaping my tired body. Yeah, I know. I smiled up at the sky, wondering if my father felt the same. God, would I ever make him proud? I felt tears well up in my eyes. Words I was choking on seemed to create a painfully uncomfortable knot in my throat. Do you think I'm good enough? I choke out 2 painful words after that. For him. But they were silent amongst the raindrops. Emma. She looked up at me, a questioning yet sad tone in her eyes before she continued. Emma, please know you're already good enough. Everything is going to be okay no matter what. You don't need to change. Everyone should love you for who you are. She finished. I looked away from her as tears streamed down my face, hidden by the raindrops that fell onto my cheeks. Thank you, I mumble, my gaze returning to the darkened sky. A moment of silence goes by as we continue to walk home. A few minutes passed before we reached our back door. Let's sleep off the rain, all right? We need the rest, Star said, opening the door for me. I take a step back and shake my wings, the water going everywhere. Thankfully, I didn't get Star wet. I was still soaked, but at least I wasn't bringing too much water inside. Yeah, Sleeping sounds great. I walk inside behind her, stretching my arms out above my head.